I'd like to be a mother because a mother takes lots of care. When children are in need of help, a mother's always there. She cooks the food, she cleans the house, she showers the children with love. She does the bills and pays the taxes and all of the above. A mother's voice is loving, full of wisdom and care. Even if the elderly need a little bit of help, a mother is always there. Michelle Yuan, age 9. As a young child, and still now, I had always adored my mom. She was the brightest, most optimistic, and most loving individual I've ever met. She had a certain tenacity to her, one that gave her a spirited passion for life. So when she was diagnosed with breast cancer and later colon cancer, she fought with a fiery determination. Soon after my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she began looking for various resources, different support groups and programs, and she stumbled upon a blue and green brochure for a summer camp called Camp Kesem. Supporting a child through a parent's cancer, I remember reading, not fully understanding what it meant or entailed. My mom had told me that I would be going to a fun sleepaway summer camp where I'd meet other kids whose parents would be just like her. So naturally, as an 8-year-old child, I figured that would mean that all my new friends at camp would also have moms who had lost their hair, and that all my new friends at camp also spent the last 2 Christmases in the hospital, and that maybe all my new friends at camp were also as confused and scared as I was. I still remember my first day at camp in the June of 2009, walking out into the grassy opening of a campus park at Northwestern University. Clutching my mom's hand, we walked through crowds of campers, guardians, counselors, and staff to find my own cabin. My first counselors were named Bubbles, Buttercup, and Blossom, and to me, they were like the big sisters I never had. But as an 8-year-old who had never been away from home, I was scared. Everything and everyone was so new, and I was nervous to be without my mom. But as soon as I let go of my mother's hand, I was instantly met with the joy and compassion of Camp Kesem, and I loved every second of it. Before I knew it, I found myself fully immersed in the magic of Kesem. I loved my new friends, my amazing counselors, which even as an 8-year-old, as a Grello camper, I remember them so distinctly still to this day. I loved the camp food, I loved the lake, or as we called it, the agam, the inflatable slides, the stacks of friendship bracelets on my wrist, the gaga ball pit, the talent show, where I felt so safe my first year at camp that I fully choreographed and performed a dance to Shakira's Waka Waka in front of the entire camp. I loved it all. I loved Kesem so much that I went back year after year, summer after summer, because for a week out of the entire year, every worry, every fear, every care I had was gone. I looked forward to camp every single summer after that. I remember during the school year, I would lay wide awake in bed in the middle of the night, yearning to go back, wishing for the dance parties, the high ropes courses, the archery, the carnival, imagining the warm hugs of my friends and counselors, recalling hilarious inside jokes. I loved Kesem. I loved the person I was at Kesem. It truly became my happy place, a place I could run away to for 1 week out of the entire year and be surrounded by some of the most loving and compassionate people I've ever met. And so, year after year, summer after summer, I returned to my happy place, including in 2011, the summer after my mom had passed away. My mother was the most caring and inspiring woman I've ever met. She was my best friend, so when I lost her to colon cancer, it felt as if I had lost a bit of myself too. As a young child, I didn't know how to cope with grief. At only 10 years old, I didn't understand what cancer was or why it took away the person I loved most. But luckily, I didn't have to learn alone. After the summer of 2011, Kesem looked a lot different for me. Rather than just a week of fun and games, it became a space where I could mourn and cry and feel angry and sad, yet somehow experience the comfort and nurture of an entire community. It wasn't until I was in high school and when I was a teen camper that I realized how much Kesem truly saved me. I realized that my mom, by signing me up for Camp Kesem when I was just 8 years old, was protecting me. She was making sure that if the worst case scenario happened and she couldn't be around to take care of me, that somebody would. I felt so grateful for this organization that I knew I wanted to be a counselor when I began college. During my senior year of high school, my college application lists were filled only with universities that had a Kesem chapter too. I knew I wanted to dedicate my time and energy to give back the joy in life that Kesem had given to me when I was a child. So I did. Beginning freshman year at UC Berkeley, I immediately immersed myself into our Kesem chapter, attending all the general body meetings, joining various committees, and applying to be a program counselor our first summer of virtual camp. Sophomore year, I was accepted to our coordinator executive board as an alumni marketing and public relations coordinator. Come junior year, I served as our chapter's operations coordinator, planning and running our first in-person camp since the pandemic. This year, I have had the honor of being one of Kesem Berkeley's chapter directors. Never would I have imagined that the fun-filled sleepaway camp I went to one summer when I was only 8 years old would completely change my life. And throughout the past 4 years, I learned that what Kesem means to me looks very different now than when I was a child. As a young camper, Kesem was my safe space. Now, we here at Kesem Berkeley have the privilege of building that safe space for over 300 children each year in the Bay Area. Our campers, who consistently inspire us, who truly embody what it means to be resilient, what it means to have courage, who show us time and time again the power of Kesem, the power of hope. Kesem is a light at the end of the tunnel, a rainbow after the storm. And I say this from firsthand experience. I was one of those children. I know what it's like. I've been in their shoes. And I can say with full confidence that the work we are doing together, here, now, is life-changing. The time that our volunteers put into this organization, the generosity that community members show year after year, the donations, the fundraising, it makes a difference. You make a difference. I am living proof that the work we do as counselors, donors, sponsors, alumni, community members, board members, the work we do is powerful, it is meaningful, and it changes lives. It changed mine. And maybe one day, 14 years from now, a former camper who attended the Kesem Berkeley chapter for the first time this summer will be making their speech at their Make the Magic because they realized after all these years, Kesem changed their life too. And so from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has made this incredible dream of a night become a reality. Thank you to our Make the Magic coordinators, Apple Juice and Checksmith, for putting so much time into creating such a beautiful gala. Thank you to all of our Kesem Berkeley supporters, from community contacts to company sponsors to alumni, board members, camper families, friends. Thank you to our counselors, our volunteers who spend countless hours making slide decks, putting together unit binders, writing birthday cards, and so much more that often goes unnoticed. In fact, not much has changed since I was 8 years old, for I see my fellow counselors standing in the back of the room tonight with just the same inspiration and adoration that I saw in my own counselors when I was a counselor. Thank you to everyone here who attended our Make the Magic tonight. And from the 8-year-old former camper turned director in me to every single one of you, I hope you now feel the magic of Camp Kesem too. Thank you.